Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, people here, people there, people everywhere, we are here to tell you and talk to you about this thing we call the Friday Eve Spectacular. It's Friday Eve. It's 7:20. The big guy's running a little behind, so he's probably going to be coming in hot. But we got a great show for you. We got some topics to talk about. We're going to do everything we can to start this day off the right way. And on the list of topics we got today, we talking stadiums. So we have some news in DC. Then we have two stadiums being built in other places. It's going to be interesting. I don't know how this is going to play out. We got the Miles report. We got the MLB trade deadline. Um, Actually, I don't know why I have it twice. Of course, we have where in the world is LeBron James going? We got camp on the horizon, and then we closes out with our Mount Rushmore of common color commentators. But it's Friday Eve, and there's a little thing we gotta do to make this go right, make it sound right, make it be right. Like, because right now it's like that Luther curl. It ain't curling right. It ain't just ain't there yet. What am I missing? Besides KG, no. Oh, the intro. What am I doing? I'm all alone. I know the intro. This is how it goes. Tomorrow morning, when you get to work, there's gonna be people in the break room putting their lunches away. Some people be standing at the Keurig. Some guy, he's got his tumbler and he's filling it up with water. And it's just a line at the thing because everybody's filling up their tumblers. And all of a sudden, the last person go to fill their tumbler up, and they just turn around to everybody in the room, and it's like 6 to 8 people in the room, and everybody's talking and gibbering jabbering, and then all of a sudden, that one question, it always gets asked on Friday morning. It's the main question. It's not the only question, but it's the most important question that people ask on that morning, Friday morning. Somebody yells out, "What you watched last night?" And everybody in the room kind of gets settled in. They turn their heads to the clouds. They say the Sideline Junkies present this thing called the Thursday Night Throwdown. Yeah. And with that being said, let's get you going. Let's get you started. Again, like I said, KG's on the way. I'm gonna go ahead and get you started. I'm gonna do something because I know he hasn't really looked into this. So something caught my eye early on this week. Um, it's very ironic, but here in DC, there's another stadium deal outside of RFK. This stadium deal involves uh, Audi Field. Now, what makes this very ironic, makes this very political, is the person that proposed this bill is none other than Phil Mickelson. And I know all of you may not be well versed in DC politics and the people from DC, but let me tell you a little something about what's going on. This is the one man who has always took it, gone out his way to hold up, to deter, to put every obstacle in front of a stadium deal that came in. He got in the way of Nats Park. He got in the way of them redoing Capital One. He's been in the way of them building RFK 2.0. And now, all of a sudden, out of the greatness of his heart, he has decided, hey, DC, let me bestow upon you some renovations to make Audi Field much better. Now, the funny part is this proposal comes up outside of the DC the DC cycle of news and information. This deal didn't get approved by the council. Then this kind of got announced or as a proposal outside. Now, here's the key parts that you got to worry about. These are the particulars. So there's the owner of the MLS team, DC United. He and Middleton came to this conclusion, and this is what they were going to do. Now let's think about this. This deal includes 620 million. So it's basically like 300 million from the city, 320 from the MLS team, and what they're going to do is add about another 8,000 seats to this property or to the Audi Field. They're going to put a top on it So that way, weather can't become an issue for this field. So let's start there, right? So this means that maybe you won't get a FIFA World Cup match, but maybe now you can get an international game, a friendly played there. So that's one point where Mendelssohn gets something out of this. Two, they're going to build homes and have developments around this this stadium. Now, what happens with that? It's a real estate deal. So now this dude's getting money probably off the side of this, and I'm not making any accusations. I'm not saying this is exactly what he's doing, but I'm just gonna say there's an opportunity for them to make money off of the housing that they put up around this. And of course, DC has this thing where 20% of all the housing goes up has to have or include affordable housing. That's another story for another day. All right. But with that being said, the kicker of this is all this development happens in this area. Now, I didn't hear anything about, parking and things of that nature. They're going to have to build that up because the parking around that one facility sucks. It's the worst parking I've seen. You literally have to park 3 to 4 blocks away to get to it, and you have to walk the rest of the way. There's nothing really on site for people to park and get to. So that's one. And then the lot around it is full of potholes and things of that nature. So it's just not the best. Not the best of looks. The best look of it is the stadium itself, but everything around is kind of desolate to a certain degree. So the thing about this is Mendelssohn, again, has been against every stadium opportunity that he hasn't led or been the lead on. Now, all of a sudden, he wants to take the lead. He wants to be the person to make this thing work. Make that make sense. Because you didn't see that stadiums, you didn't think stadiums could be productive. You didn't think they could make money in the city or be a place where you can build around. But now you got something on the table and it's okay. So I have two questions. One, is this a financial gain? Is this something where all of a sudden now you can make money off of this deal and profit maybe on the side outside of whatever going to the city? Maybe that's the case. This isn't thoughts. This is pure speculation. Reckless speculation on my part. Maybe, just maybe, kind of sort of, this is something where your name gets tied to you doing something in the city, and now this helps your legacy. Maybe that's what you want. Maybe that's what you're aiming for. Because now RFA falls under Muriel Bowser. Cap One falls under Muriel Bowser. Now her legacy becomes the one that helped the city, that saved the city from losing the Caps and the Wizards. Her legacy becomes the legacy of the mayor that brought the Commanders / Redskins / football team back to DC. So do you need something to put a pin up, to put a little first place trophy up in your corner to say that you helped get Audi Field restructured? You helped add 8,000 seats. You helped build up around this area. Is that what you're aiming for? Interesting question. Everything I said is my thoughts and my thoughts solely. It does not represent the Sideline Junkies. Any speculative parts, all speculation, but they got ground. They say if there's smoke, there's fire. That's all I'm saying. Pay attention. Watch the messenger. Because sometimes the messenger got some things hidden on the side. He got some Easter eggs. So that's our talk, our conversation on the DC Stadium. I don't know if you got anything on the KG. I know you came in mid-rant. I didn't expect to lead with this. I forgot about this until a couple minutes ago when I was scrolling through my phone. So I know it wasn't on the schedule. We really didn't do a schedule, but hey.
Let me tell you something. First of all, good evening. My apologies for my tardiness.
Nah, we do, man.
I did not know there was anything else with a stadium deal, so I caught the tail end of it. If you could just give me the cliff notes.
All right, so here's what we got. So it's the Audi Field is going to go under renovations in the next couple of years, and basically they're going to expand the stadium, add about 8,000 seats to the stadium itself. Then what they're going to do is put a top on the stadium, so that way it can be it can have all-purpose use. Now I don't know how they're going to do the grass part of this. Like they really didn't go into details of that, but it's like a $620 million deal to get this done. 320 million is put up by the city, and I think 300 is being put up by MLS or in the DC United. And maybe it's the other way around, but again, that's what's happening. And then they're adding some residential space. They're adding some stores. Probably they're going to probably make it a feature or a place or centerpiece for that part of the Navy Yard. That's the Cliff Notes.
Now, here's a question, and I'm not going to get too deep into it. So I think I understand where the boss BJ is coming from because he's really upset about the Commanders doing a stadium at the RFK site because he's saying how much money is being on taxpayers. Now, DC residents, if they're getting the money from the DC government, that's coming from DC residents. So that means taxes are going to be high, and not just for the renovation of Audi Field, but the building of uh Sean Taylor Stadium at RFK Place. I mean, and that's just a
I
tentative
know.
name there.
No. So you got to think about it like this: they can always tie money going to something else and funnel it to the stadium deals. And plus, they had some money set aside because I know Nats Park is. I think there's some small renovations going on in Nats Park, so they're doing some things along the way to keep these stadiums down. The mission is to keep all the stadiums inside the city. Now that we've gotten all of them inside the city or inside the city limits. Now, of course, that's not going to be official until 2030 when all of them are here. But still, that's the idea or the plan. So
Okay.
that's the base of this. But the thing that's the irony is the person that has fought every other stadium being built in the city is now the lead man in this project, and that's what catches me off guard. And that's part of why I even brought it up because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be by myself for a minute. Let me just go ahead and get some things off my chest. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Now, I love the idea of having all the stadiums in the city, which is
Okay.
great. And you got Audi Field right across from that stadium. And I'm gonna tell you something that I know for sure. They did a renovation of Nat Stadium, I want to say 2 to 3 years ago. Because I was a part of that. And you know what the renovation was?
What?
Putting TVs in the dugout.
Mm.
It was a necessity, but I actually got to sit in the dugout for a little bit. So,
Hey man, I would have done it myself.
man, that was wonderful. It was a walking through the corridors, the bowels of the stadium, and then getting to sit in the dugout, and then walking on the field. I've never seen a
Man,
game from inside of that stadium, but I've been in that stadium.
man,
But
they'd have been like, where's the guy that's supposed to be putting the TVs up? All they hear down the hall is is he taking batting practice? Get him out of here. My bad, I ain't know. I thought I could take a break.
but
Hey James, your bat broke, so I'm sorry.
I'm on the fence with this, and I mean, but I guess they'll work it out. And this is preliminary, so this is not in concrete, correct?
This is right. They haven't the council hasn't approved it. My bad. I forgot I was solo. I got the TV running, so I don't know what's in the background noise. Um,
Nah, you're good. You're good.
so here's the kicker, because and this is part of the reason I just tried to build in my own segue. So we got this happening here, but then we got two other places that are going to get one's going to get a new stadium and one's going to get renovations. So coming up in the near future, there's a place where Arrowhead will no longer be. The Chiefs are moving to Kansas City, Kansas. I think that's how they say it.
Yep. which
Too
is
many Kansas Cities.
Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas sit like this. They sit right next to each other.
Okay. I guess somebody lost a battle or something, and they had to put up a fence because they didn't like each other. I don't know what's happening there. That just sounds too close, too much to be that like that. But here's the kicker and the key. They're building a stadium. I think it's the cost of the stadium is about $3 billion. Again, it's gonna have a translucent roof. It's gonna be built similar to Arrowhead. Um, but the kicker is Arrowhead's been up and running for about 40 years, I think it is.
Longer than
50.
that.
Yeah, so it's one of those situations where you had to do something new because you couldn't just keep putting lipstick on that pig. Let's see what we got here. Oh gosh, I got coming in hot. Yo, Anthony
Oh,
says my favorite thing I got to do as a kid when it came to sports. My uncle took me to Hurricanes versus Florida State game when I was in elementary. Um, I was able to go into the Hurricanes locker room when they were in the Orange Bone and talk to Ray, Ed, and Sean. That sounds awesome, dog.
that sounds dope as shit.
Hell yeah, man. That's yeah. I got a couple of those experiences from Carlisle, but that's amazing, man. Maybe next week with camp being open, like next Nah, it can't be Tuesday. So it's gotta be next Thursday. We're gonna do a segment called Carlisle Tales. So write it down and I'll give you a couple of those stories.
Please
I'll try
do.
to keep stories.
I love when you tell those stories because I'm sitting here and it's like, keep going, man, because this is my era. This is what I wanted to do, and like I'm living it through you. So I'm
Maybe
with
we
that.
do let me know. Maybe we either do it Sunday because camp opens on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Um or we do it Thursday.
Okay.
So we'll figure that out. Because
Um,
next week is what? No, I'm a week early. I
you
thought
week early.
yeah, I'm a week early. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we can do Tuesday.
Right.
We can do Carlisle Stories Tuesday. I'm sorry. I thought I was at in a month. That's how bad this goes.
Um, Arrowhead Stadium. They broke ground in '68. It
Okay.
opened in '72.
Okay.
So from '72, and it's been renovated. It was renovated '91, '94, 2007 through 2010, and they expanded it '95 to '97. I don't understand why would you leave this place on such hallowed ground? Like all the great Chiefs teams have played there, and I always thought Arrowhead was just like one of those stadiums. That was one of my. I think if I had to do my top 5 stadiums, Arrowhead would be number 4 behind RFK, Joe Robbie, and Rich Stadium.
All right. So let's think about it like this. You have this house. It's a 2-bed, 1-bathroom house, right? I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
keep it small. So through some time, you built a deck on the back. Through some time, you said, you know what? On the back side of the house, I got the deck, and what I'll do is I'll put I'll put a awning over the top, not an awning, but I'll put like a thing where we can put some French doors up. We can walk out the French doors, and we'll sit on a little patio, and we can look out across the thing from the bedroom, right? We done gone in and we done expanded the closets, right? We done changed over to Central Wear, and we got this going. All right, we need something else. And like it's like you can't keep like Arrowhead is to the point where you can't keep building on because you don't have the natural things to in place. I think Arrowhead is one of the few places that doesn't really have suites. So that's part of the reason why they're trying to get because you have a team that has gone to what is it, like 5 Super Bowls, and they're 3-2. You can't cash in on that corporate money because you ain't got no suites.
They got 128 executive suites.
But they need more. They probably want more. You know what I'm saying, KG?
I
Like it's
know.
more about like the experience. Then you got to also start bringing in because what's the next thing? Whenever you get a new stadium, it's a 3-letter word. Starts with a P. In the middle, there's an S, an L, and doesn't stand for lucky. It stands for licensing.
Yep,
And they
private
get that
personal
going.
seat license.
Yeah, so these are things that are all money makers for the owners. And here's the part that kills me is people get mad when teams leave stadiums, but they don't remember the fact that the only reason they left is because you kept voting down every proposal they put in place to keep the team in the city. Your votes, not KG's, not mine. Every person in Kansas City that voted against it, your votes allowed them to leave Arrowhead. That's a you problem, not a me problem.
I
And
agree
here's
with
the
that.
best part about this, because let's go ahead and transition to the next thing. Because there was always talk of the Carolina Panthers maybe moving to South Carolina, building a stadium there, doing stuff there. Well, guess what happened? They've got something going. Now, this, I'm going to leave this as not as speculation. I'm going to say allegedly. There are talks in place where the Panthers will invest money into renovating their stadium in the next couple of years as well. So it may be a situation where the Panthers are going to put a bunch of money into renovating whatever Carolina Stadium is called, um, and that's going to be their next thing or their next proposal, and that's how they're going to kind of update their stadium without building a new stadium or leaving the city, because there was always talks of them building a facility since they are the Carolina Panthers. Doesn't discern whether it's north or south. There was always the talks of them being. There was an opportunity they could move to South Carolina, but I guess that never came to fruition. So now they're talking about renovating the stadium. I got to do some more research on that to see how much that is true and how much of that might be internet fodder.
Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, has been playing in that same stadium for close to 30 years because they came into the league in 95. I don't think they had a stadium at that time. They go on to getting their new stadium a couple of years later.
Right.
But this is, I mean, honestly, what's the life expectancy of a stadium? Because we see stadiums that have been around for hundreds of, well, I ain't gonna say hundreds, but multiple generations. The LA Coliseum for one. And then you have teams that's trying to get new stadiums every 30 years. And you got Oakland Coliseum. Oakland Coliseum, everybody said it was a dump. But I mean, if you were a
Really?
fan, you loved it.
Does Arrowhead have the same issues as what you saw with the Oakland Raiders Stadium, where it constantly is getting flooded? I don't know the details of what the issues are, but just think about it like this, Anthony. The stadium that's been around that long, we got some issues, we got some things. We tried to modernize it. We tried to modernize it. At a certain point, like we just got to start over. You got to build it from the ground up and start again. And the problem was the people of Kansas City or wherever they are, I guess the people of Missouri didn't feel like they wanted to build again or build a new stadium in place. So here we are. And we know how old stadiums. I mean, everybody remembers RFK. The last couple of days when they actively played there, there was water places, there was puddles in the halls of the stadium. We probably had some pretty big rats in the stadium somewhere. So I mean, come on, old stadiums, old stadiums are old stadiums, man. They all got their problems.
That's absolutely true. They do have their problems. And I see this is where I fail. I'm so stuck in the nostalgia of Arrowhead Stadium. You saw Len Dawson play there. You saw Otis Taylor, Joe Montana, Christian Okoye, Barry Word, the human joystick, Dante Hall. You're seeing Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce, and you're seeing all these legends and players that played there and become fan favorites. And then you're like, yeah, we're going to up and we're going to move. Yeah, I mean, come on now. I had a problem with the Redskins at the time moving from RFK to Jack Kent Cooke Stadium. I didn't like it. It seemed odd because you don't get that shot on CBS of the top of the stadium where you see the monument and then the Capitol, and you see the haze and you see the skyline of DC. That's always my thing. I talk about the skyline of DC all the time, and we don't get that when you're doing it from
No, you
Northwest.
don't. I never hear you bring it up. Oh,
It's one of them beautiful things, man. But that I gotta, if I gotta take myself outside of myself, you got to do what's good for business. And if I'm looking at this from a business eye, you take your engineers, you say, okay, what's the problems? How much is it going to cost to fix? Okay, I can build a stadium for the amount that's going to cost me to fix it. Let's go ahead and just build a whole new stadium.
but at some point, you get to a point where you just can't. No matter what you add, it's still going to have the problems. So at a point, it's like you're putting money into, like you're almost burning money, putting money back into this place. You might as well make it livable for what the next 3 years, maybe four. Build something new and start over. I mean, considering what Kansas City probably has, they probably have a big ass parking lot, and you could have probably started building, taking out a certain part of the parking lot, start building the new Arrowhead around the old Arrowhead, and at some point, you know that after you build up to a certain point, you take the old one down and finish making the new one.
Well, it's enough space to do it because they got what's that Kauffman Stadium for the Royals? It's right
Right.
next door.
But I
So,
mean,
and
it
that's
wasn't.
another
It
thing.
wasn't a thing.
That's another thing. The way Philly does it, where you got everything in a complex, you got basketball, baseball, football sitting right there in the complex.
Right. You literally like what was that? They call it. They used to call it the DC double, where you would go to a day game at Nats Park, and then especially in September or I'm sorry, October, November, because that's when the Nats were good, or um April and May, you do the DCW. You go see the Nats during the day game, then you drive or ride over to Cap One and you watch the Capitals or the Wizards, and boom, you finish the double that way. That was your DC double.
Love it. I love it, man. I love it. I love that idea, and I've always been a fan of having sports complexes. But logistically, it's not right for everybody. But I think Kansas City moving from Kansas City, Missouri to Kansas City, Kansas.
I mean, we also got what is that? We got Chicago where the Bears are moving out of Soldier Field into some complex in Indiana. Again, another situation where the Bears. No, this ain't the Bears' fault. The
No,
Bears did everything they could to keep Soldier Field alive, but at a certain point, you just again space and technology, all that stuff. You can't like your shell is too old, and you got to start all over again.
and what's crazy, I think that's the most asinine thing is moving the Bears out of Soldier Field. And now, mind you, that
You have
stadium
to.
is over 100 years old.
You have to.
It's been renovated. Geez, they did underwent a renovation from 2002 to 2003. That's when they added all the new stuff. So that's 23 years ago. And
Let me hit this Anthony comment real quick because this
okay,
is. He said the cities are learning their lessons after what happened with the Marlins, with that owner, and how Kroenke screwed St. Louis out of the Rams. Let's see what he has here. Because the previous Marlins owner promised that he was going to privately fund the whole stadium, and he forced the city to pay for the whole stadium. Well, that's kind of the thing that's been happening all along. But I mean, let's not act like these cities don't benefit from these parks and these stadiums. I mean, DC has whatever that there's a stadium tax or whatever from Nats Park or a fund, I should say. And I don't know the exact name of this fund, but whatever that fund was, to pay for the bonds to help make the city, that fund got paid for in a quick like before 2019. So now the city, if they're still paying that fund, that money is extra for the city and go into the city's pockets in certain ways. I don't know how it's getting spent, so don't let me. I don't want to speculate and lie to you on that part. But just know that these cities have options beyond what's happening here, and I think the reason they've gone so much with these multi-use stadiums because you got tired of seeing a park being built in a city, and then all of a sudden you turn around and that team's gone, and that becomes an eyesore. You know, RFK unfortunately was an eyesore, even though it got used, but it was an eyesore to a certain point. But now that you have all this stuff around it, you can do some things, and maybe you close it down or you shift stuff. But now you're gonna have hotels, you're gonna have food, you're gonna have residential areas. Like that space gets used now 365, not just 10 times.
Absolutely correct. And when you think about that and being used 365 instead of 10 times, you think about all the money that's going to come back. And it's all about the bottom line. And what's the bottom line? Money.
The millions
and millions. Well, hey, I'm pulling your coattail on this one and following you, so you got the lead.
Hold on, no. So let's get a break. I need a quick break because I gotta re-ice. So give me a show thing, and I'll be ready to go. And I got you after this. All right.
So hell, if I gotta choose, I got one that I'm gonna load up.
Just choose without it. I'm good. I already know what you're gonna do. Don't hype me up. Just do what you're gonna do, man.
All right, we'll take
Thursday. So officially, you could do that, and that makes sense.
Okay. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Tonight, the bell rings and the stories begin. Welcome to the ride.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Welcome back. As of course, you know, when KG does and control the commercial breaks, you know we get every time. So hopefully you guys are used to this. It's nothing new. It's just what he does. It's okay. It's okay. It's the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. This is the Thursday Night Throwdown. And now normally, I don't know where we want to go, but let's do some speed round real quick because I got some things going here. Let's go to this spot, MLB trade deadline. Because I've been hearing a lot of talk, and I know I talked about this the other day, but I gotta, because I keep listening to the radio, and I keep hearing people call in, and they're saying, "Oh, if the learners do this, they're not serious about winning. If the learners do that, it's a problem." And I keep listening. I'm like, you don't get baseball to a certain extent. Like, yes, you can want to pay, and this is where my story's gonna go. And give me the timer clock because I don't want to go over 5 minutes on this.
All right, timer clock coming. Hold on.
So
I'll get you 5 minutes.
This is what was funny. It's Forrest Griffin, right? Forrest Griffin is a dude they found in Japan. He got posted and basically the Nats won the bidding war for him, signed him for $3 million, 1 year deal. So he comes over, pitches well. He's pitching out of sight. He's probably done something. I think in his 8 starts, giving up less than 2 runs is something that Scherzer, Strasburg, Gio, and all these other guys haven't done, right? But now the problem is, since he's on a 1 year deal, people say, "Oh, why don't we just go ahead and extend him?" Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds real good. Let's extend him. But guess who got all the leverage? Him. Because now he on a 1 year deal. Yeah. And people say, "Oh, you know what the Nats should do? Give him 3 years and 15. Give him 3 years. I'm sorry, 3 years, 40 million, which roughly comes out to about 12 or 13 mil a season. Or give him 3 years, 60, comes out to 20. Well, yeah, that sounds nice. I know, maybe with the labor stuff coming up, maybe that could do something, but I could be appealing to a team like the Yankees. I could be appealing to a team like the Red Sox. Do you think the Red Sox are going to just pay me 3 and 60? Because they may give me 3 and 70 and 3 and 80. So what's my motivation if I'm Forrest Griffin to sign an extension with the Nationals? That's the part that I've heard everybody talk about everything else today. How the Nats have failed and they should do this and they're not working hard enough. No. He got all the leverage. Yeah, it was $3 million, but now, guess what, dog? I can get 20. I might get 25. All I gotta do is if I bet on me the rest of the season, I can get paid. So let's stop dancing with that right now. Second thing, this team has shown a consistency of getting guys to hit baseball way above what they did before. Here's a name, KG. I'm gonna shock you. Guess who I want gone? Luis Garcia. You know why, KG? Because I always do. I want him gone for the last 2 years. So I'm not. Yes, he's hitting the ball fine. Yes, he's got a career high in home runs. But guess what? Let somebody else have that. It's okay. He plays a somewhat average first base that you can make up in the aggregate. Like people act like if you get rid of him and you get you 2 solid relievers or a reliever and a young arm in somebody's AA system, you done made up for it. Because A, you done helped your bullpen, and then B, you done put another arm in your system that you can use as a starter or whatever. And this kid might, depending on what they want, because he's having a career year, they may be able to get a guy that's higher up in their system because Luis Garcia doesn't have a big salary. So if I take a reliever and a young pitcher off your arms, off your hands, I'm making out in the long run. If I give you Jacob Young and you give me another reliever, I done got 2 relievers to add to my bullpen. I got a young arm that might be ready in 2 years or a year. And then I've called up 2 guys that have been raking in AAA. Maybe it's Brady House and I move Curtis Meads over to first. Maybe he plays first more so than anybody else. Or you play him enough, and then when his day's off, you play Chaparro. Because for some reason, they love Chaparro. I don't know why, but okay. At third, you can go Yo-Yo Morales. You can go Brady House. And both of them are hitting the cover off the baseball. I would go with the one that's the better defender. Because now I want to save runs. Because I can put Mead at first, and he can play an above average first. And that just gives me enough. That makes me better on the margins. And maybe I lose a little bit at bat. But maybe if I score 5.5 runs, but I don't give up 6 and I give up 4, I'm making room up. So like people got to understand that when you make this move isn't the end all be all. Sometimes you got to make up certain things in the space. Now, would I trade Forrest Griffin? I don't know if I would or not, because that's your only solid starter. And it sounds like DJ Hurts has had a setback. Josiah Gray has had a setback. Jake Irvin is still on the IR. And I can't keep rolling with Michaelis and Littler or whatever his name is, as my 2 of my 5 starters and expect to have success. So that's where I'm at on that. Interesting part is guys with a year left aren't the bigger draw because the lockout is uncertain. Exactly. That's exactly right. And plus, everybody's in it. It's not like there's this big chasm between, the third the team that's fighting for the third wild card and everybody else. Like everybody's in it. There's only like 5 or 6 teams that are out of it. So I mean, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
One thing I'm gonna say, first I'm gonna give you your flowers because the way you kept that in the 5-minute time frame and you rolled with it was awesome. Second thing, what you said about the Nets, and we talk about fan bases all the time, especially here in DC. We talk about how fickle the fan base is. The fan base want to spend money on this guy, don't trade this guy, re-sign this guy, and it be guys you got to look at. And I'm guilty of it. So before anybody holler in the comments, I'm guilty of it. I'm very guilty of it. I've stopped a lot of it, but I'm guilty of it. And I notice every year around free agency, when the hot stoves start heating up, trade deadline, it's always somebody that gets shipped out. Oh man, we shouldn't have shipped them out. That's our World Series. I remember it was Gio Gonzalez one year. It was Michael Morse one year. They wanted to get rid of Strasburg, but then they loved Strasburg because he helped win the World Series. Like, it's always somebody that they don't want to get rid of or they want to get rid of. And it's actually the opposite. They want to pay somebody a fuck ton of money. And it's like, why would I spend that type of money on this person? And then they'll go get a free agency contract somewhere else. And it'll be 5 for 70, 5 for 80. And their production is in the toilet.
Right. So the Nets have lost 2 trades this offseason. If you want to be completely, they made a trade with the Orioles with kid. I think his name is Luis Paralis or Paradis. And the kid that they sent out is pitching great right now. He's having a good season, and they could definitely use it. But the vision wasn't for him. The vision is for the next guy. Like, I don't know if I said this or if the Rooster said this or Talk Nats said this, but having hindsight is easy, but sticking to your plan is the difficult part. Because the perfect person that fits into that is the Nats traded this guy Jose Ferreira before the season start. He was their closer, and they traded him for this kid Harry Ford, who's a catcher, who came up last week, I should say, played pretty well in the 3-game series against Oakland. I don't know when his next he's getting his next at bats. But Ferreira, of course, is killing it. Of course, this team is struggling having a closer. And the part that is frustrating is like everybody's like, oh, we should have never gotten rid of Ferreira. Well, what's the point of having a great closer and a dominant closer on a team you expect to lose 100 ball games? Like, you can't you're still trying to get over this. You still think this team is going to fall apart. So why? What are we doing here? Like, you can't.
I'm sitting here and I'm laughing because you said that the other night and it's been ringing in my head. What are you getting a closer for if you expected to lose 100 ball games? And I thought about it. I said, damn. Mrs. Nat, Mr. Nat, the Nat children, and myself are the only ones that didn't have them losing 80 ball games. And I was telling BJ, I said, man, they at the time, this was I think this was yesterday. I think they were 51-50 or something like that. And I said, that's 101 games. They got 61 games left. Ain't no way unless something fluke happens that they lose 50 games the rest of the way.
Right.
And I was like, that's off. And it's not because I'm a great prognosticator or anything like that. No, I'm like, every time we think the Nats are going to do so terrible, they wound up doing pretty goddamn good and give you hope. And then you get that hope next season. Next season, they'll lose again.
Nah, I think what they put in place here is going to be they're building and they're making things better. So I won't say that there's going to be a fall off, but they're going to have to start investing, have to start putting money into this. But that's all I have for that. for the MLB part or the baseball trade deadline part of this, just get ready for, excuse me, August 3rd. Maddie, I know you in here. I don't know if you're doing the show for August 3rd. I know I'm gonna be tied up at work on Monday and Tuesday, so maybe we won't get to it until Thursday, kind of recapping the deadline and the moves made at the deadline. So, but that's just something I wanted to put out there in the ether. I know you're already on it because you already got like the shows planned out. You're not like us that sometimes you fly by the seat of your pants like we do. So here we go with that. Let's go here because I've been complaining about this all week, month. And give me another, give me only a 5 minute clock because I don't want to stay on this one too long either. And I don't even think I'm gonna use the whole 5.
All right.
All right. So in DC, I've heard people. When I say people, I'm talking about the radio guys. I've heard my guy Chris Russell. I heard people talk about, okay, like why would you extend AD at this point in time? And I want people to understand that when you get extended in NBA, the extension isn't the way they see extensions. Extensions aren't you're going to be here for 4 years. This is more so I'm going to get you paid. And now if I move you, we can move you for something else. So like don't get up in arms if AD signs his 4-year extension. Because AD told you from the jump, I'm about my money. He said that in his press conference. I'm about my money. So if he can get his money and they offer it to him, because I think they will, and this will also help them in terms of the salary floor. This will help in that regard. But the other place it helps them also is it satisfies and shows the league, oh, we are willing to take care of a star. But now, you know what? Maybe that star doesn't fit in our plans. I'm all good. If Cleveland wants to jump in the fray and say, hey, we'll give you Jared Allen and some picks, and we'll take AD off your hands, I think that's the best move they can make. Because now you get a kid that's controllable for the next couple of years, and he's defensive minded. And now you don't have to play Sarr at the 5. You can play him at the 4 and play Jared Allen at the 5. Now you get a shot blocker and an eraser. So now when you're worried about Trae Young getting blown past, guess what you got behind him? An eraser. Like these are things you got. Like this is how I see it. I mean, I see AD as I still see him as a trade piece. I don't see him as part of our team. I see him as a way that we can get better, even though he doesn't play a game for us. You ain't have to play. He ain't got to play 1 second for this team, and they can automatically get better defensively in the big position. And then if they don't, they can find a team. I don't know where Daniel Gafford is, but maybe you can go out and get some Doritos, and you get some other pieces with Doritos, because all you really want on this team is somebody again that's going to erase the mistakes out front. And if this team gets better defensively with the Bonsa, with Trae Johnson, Trae Young, George and company, they going to score. They just need somebody to help erase some of the mistakes. And if it's Sarr and another person back there, I mean, I just think it's the sky's the ceiling. And then you add in DeAndre Ayton, and if you limit his minutes, good gosh, now what? You put him on a limited schedule and you maximize his potential? I don't know, man. I feel like the dudes on In Living Color, they be like, more money, more money, more money. Like that's what we getting. You're getting more and more out of this opportunity. So that's all, man. That's my part for the LeBron section of this.
Well, my part for the LeBron section is I only need 5 minutes. I just want to know, like, bro, you're 42?
Something like that.
Year 23.
Something like
and
that.
You're holding up a free agency decision for what, bruh? Like, people need to know. I heard a rumor. I don't know how true it is. They said they won't even release the daggone schedule out because they need to know where LeBron's going to go so they can start planning accordingly. Dude, they want to give you a farewell tour, and you deserve a farewell tour. You deserve that. You deserve to go out, get your farewell tour. Hopefully, you do 28, 17, and 12 in your final game. And, they make the final game in Cleveland. If you're not playing for the Cavaliers, great. Stop holding everything up, man.
Well, they can't do that. So I just say, forget it. Make the schedule and make the world deal with everything else, because the world will adjust. One monkey don't run this candy stand. So let's go ahead and get it out there. And because you can do it this way. You can take the 6 teams you think's oh man. That's a tie. That's a tie. But no, I would take, all right, so these are the 6 teams I think he's gonna go. And I just make it, I tell TNT, wherever he ends up, or ESPN I should say, wherever he ends up, that's gonna be your 8 o'clock game. I'd be a jerk. I'd put Cleveland versus Philly. I'd put Milwaukee versus Miami. And not Milwaukee versus Miami versus Golden State at night. And I'd put Minnesota versus somebody on the second nights. And I just go with that. Like, you playing for one of them 6. And if you pick somebody outside of that, oh well. Your fault, not mine. But all they'll do is they'll rearrange it.
Yeah.
Like, they act like they can't rearrange the schedule. They can't make a change. You put 8 games on Monday and 7 games on Tuesday or whatever, and then you can move whatever becomes the ESPN game. Stop the lies. Like, let's stop acting like we need a declaration from the king of Nepal to make this work.
Does Nepal have a king?
I don't know. So I might want the knife. You know what I'm saying? Please.
Oh shit.
Let's go, man. Let's go coup de grace after this, man.
Hey man, you take it away. I'm following you.
Let's go quick break. Let's reset. I need a reset. Right. I don't need anything of any time frame. Give me one of them 6 teams.
You got it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a reset, which means we're going to take a commercial break. We're going to come back, and the Midnight Rider called it. He said coup de grace. So, here we go. Stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sideline Junkies. I knew that was 15 seconds, so that's why I did it, dog. I was like, nah, let's have some fun. Sideline Junkies, Thursday Night Throwdown, Mount Rushmore time. So tonight we got to a part where there was debates, there was conversations, there was tables being thrown, ladders being thrown up against people's heads, and chairs and all those things. And at the end of the forum, we came to the point where this week's Mount Rushmore is the Mount Rushmore for color commentators. Now, I'm going to give everybody some leeway. I know you have more than 4. All right, I know that already. So in the comments, when you're commenting, give me your first 4. All right? And then what we'll do is we'll circle the block for honorable mentions, and you can name all your other guys later on. But let's let everybody get their 4 color commentary guys out of the way. And this is your top 4. It doesn't matter the sport. It doesn't matter what. So if you like the color commentator from Telemundo, and that goes, go, let go, that guy, if you know his name, it's all yours, baby. So with that being said, we've come to the time. Buckle your seatbelts, latch in, and let's go. Mount Rushmore color commentator. Since I'm the host, I guess I need to go second. You got to go first. So, on you, dog.
All right. So if I'm putting mine out there, and the boss BJ said the NBA schedule don't drop until August. He not holding anything up, but they still got to put the schedule together, brother. They still got to put it together.
So we're going no order, just one. You do your one, I do my one. We're gonna go back and forth.
Okay. Now, first off the block for me. First one I'm putting up there. Bill Walton.
You would have
Gotta put Bill Walton on there because when it comes to color, Bill Walton is my guy when it comes to basketball and color. He always was, always will be. Like you get ready to go to commercial, he's saying, throw it down, big fella, throw it down. Always great.
Yeah, he's good at color, but only problem with Bill Walton, he don't stay inside the lines. That's the only problem with him.
That's what makes it great.
He had spent 10 minutes talking about something at UCLA, and you're like, what are we doing, dog? We gotta stay on topic. Bill doesn't stay on topic. I like that, but my guy, since we're going color guys, and this might be on your list, but number one, one of the first things that popped in my head when we talked about color guys is Bill Raftery. We got to come out straight, man, the man. Give him some onions. Like that's just First guy I thought of, not the first guy I thought about. There's somebody I thought about first, but he was second. Maddie, that's a good pick.
That's a good pick. And Maddie agrees with me, Bill Walton for sure. Of course, the boss going to question it. He's going to question it. And he said, check for a CO2 leak. All right, brother.
Here we go. All right, now, number 2.
This one right here, special. So, in honor of this man, come on, let's stretch it out. Get it stretched out.
Okay.
Now, here's a guy. Chris Collinsworth.
Woo! Wow. Okay. Wasn't expecting that one. Oh, was not expecting that one. So my number 2, he works with a guy I love to death. That guy is Vern Lundquist. He does Sunday afternoons. This guy's name, he played at Penn State, played at Kansas City. Now he's your color commentary guy for SEC football. I don't know if he still is or not, but Todd Blackledge. Give me some Todd Blackledge any day. Todd Blackledge and Vern Lundquist would probably be on Mount Rushmore of teams. So give me that.
Vern Lundquist.
Yes, sir.
And Boss BJ said has to be sports.
Yes.
Maddie said no. It was fake.
What else do you have? What are we doing?
All right. Number 3.
Tree Martin.
This one right here, you already know how I feel about him. Like, I could sit and listen to this man talk X's and O's from now until the cows come home. And then when the cows come home, I'm going to sit down with the cows and listen to him talk X's and O's. And that's none other than former Grizzlies coach Hubie Brown.
Okay. I like what you're going with this. I'm a little disappointed that you didn't say the name that I'm about to say. Because I think this guy, when it comes to basketball, I mean, he's probably going to be shunned as a coach, but as a commentator, give me Mark Jackson any day of the week. And give me a little mama, there goes that man. Give me some of that every now and then, and we good to go.
And no disrespect. Matter of fact, Lee Ice said that. Lee Ice said John Madden, Dick Vitale, Steve Buckhanson, Mark Jackson. Ooh. And the Boss BJ, of course. My number 1 is none other than my man, John Madden. I've been listening to his voice most of my life. No, let me rephrase that. I've been listening to his voice all of my life.
What to say?
Yeah, all of my life. Because I'm still, even though he's gone to the great beyond, I'm still listening to his voice in some shape, form, or capacity. If I'm playing an old Madden or I'm watching something and he's talking, like I learned the game by watching him illustrate on the TV about who's supposed to block down and pay attention to this. That's how I learned the game.
I know exactly what you mean, buddy. So, I mean, no shocker, but that's the same one I had left. And I figured we would save the best for last. So there's no need to even that's why I changed the order, because I was like, let's not even waste Madden in the first one. Let's make him the last one, because I think he's the one that transcended and made it possible for everybody else to operate in this space as color guys. Now let's do this way. Let's go. I'm gonna name a sport. If you got somebody else, just say yep. Say the name of that person. If you don't, just say pass. All right.
All right.
MLB. Color guy.
I had somebody. Who the hell did I have? I had somebody, and I was gonna put them on.
Just say pass. It's okay. If you think about it later.
Back to me.
All right. So mine is Joe Morgan. Joe Morgan was excellent and amazing when he was on ESPN. He was one of my favorites. He could make it do what it do. Do you have anybody else baseball?
If I'm not mistaken, Tim McCarver.
Yeah, Tim McCarver's one.
And
I hate Tim McCarver, but yes, he's one.
Tim McCarver and Dan Plesac.
Okay. I like that. I like where you're going with that. Damn, did my old age just kick in? Tim McCarver, Plesac. I said Joe Morgan. Oh, no. The best one, and this is my guy, because we spent from like 2012 or 2013 together. But it's the Nats guy, FP Santangelo.
Agreed.
I may have been in a bar with him and Rizzo. Didn't share drinks with him, but we were in the same bar. And that used to be Justin's Cafe. Shout out to Justin's Cafe. That used to be in the Navy Yard. It's now a defunct bar, but it's one of the best places. I used to just roll down the city before they built all that up. Man, it'd be a Friday night. I just roll down there, find me a park, look at the remains of the old 55 Club, go in. I used to get their wings. They had a bison burger. They had a good dope pizza. But most of the time I was there for the beer. And because they had an awesome beer selection.
With baseball, let's not forget Jim Palmer.
Yep.
And Bob Uecker.
I think Bob play-by-play or color?
They got him listed as a color.
All right.
On every list that I've ever seen.
Oh, you gotta be careful saying that because somebody put that together. That could be we could be sued for that. We got him as a color.
Just slide that right on in there. We talking baseball. That right there was a slide of that sled. That's what it was. Right. A little off script. NFL Films. John Facenda, man, the voice of God.
God, Lee Ice, that could be its own thing. We could have done a thing on sports narrators.
Let me write that down. That's another one. Let me write that down.
Like guys that have narrated like documentaries or sports or things like that, and that could be interesting. That probably make you go into because you're gonna think of stuff that you hadn't thought of before. All right, so color commentary, NBA. Hold on. Give this one some love. So Maddie says Madden, Walton, Bill Clement, hockey, and Tim McCarver. I still hate Tim McCarver. Like that's a name that every time you say it, I might say I hate Tim McCarver. So that might put me in the echelon of Lee Ice and Showtime. I don't know, but I hate Tim McCarver. Now I lost my train of thought. NBA. Any other secondary guys that you can think of off the top of your head that you like?
Walt Clyde Frazier.
Okay.
Richard Jefferson is on my list, but I love Richard Jefferson.
Okay.
Doris Burke, of course. You know I love me some Doris Burke.
That's a mutual.
Steve Kerr, when he was in the booth, was great too.
Okay.
And damn, who the hell am I thinking of? I'm thinking of somebody else. Van Gundy.
All right. So that's a mutual. So outside of the two mutuals, I have two others that I would like to add. First and foremost, my man Tommy Heinsohn. Back in the day, there was nobody better than Tommy Heinsohn. And then I gotta give love to Doug Collins. Doug can get you there too. Lee Ice says Reggie Miller. I like him too.
I like that. I love that.
All right. So that's NBA. We did Baseball, NCAA. Let's go NCAA. We both didn't put Dick Vitale, but I know Dick Vitale would be
Yeah,
high on our list.
Dickie V, of
Um,
course.
Anybody else you can think of off the top of your head, basketball, NCAA basketball wise?
It's a little biased. John Thompson
Okay.
and Chris Webber.
Okay. Gosh, I'm trying to think of who the I like Clark Kellogg when he was in
Oh,
the booth. I love me some Clark Kellogg in the booth.
that's a mutual. Because Jesus, that's one of the reasons why I tune into CBS to watch those pre-game shows
Shows. Right.
during the tournament, because Clark Kellogg is just my guy.
All right. You know what? I think we need to give, and we don't have to stay in this lane long. But do we have anybody for boxing? Ooh, NCAA basketball. Al McGuire. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Al
Sorry,
McGuire.
like that. Boxing.
Boxing. George Foreman.
Yep.
Roy Jones.
Ward was good.
Yeah. Because Lampley was your play-by-play
Right.
on HBO.
Sugar Ray did it for a little while. I like Sugar Ray when he was doing it.
Yeah. But yeah, most definitely George Foreman and Roy Jones. George Foreman especially.
Roy, that's right. I forgot Roy did it too. Yes. Because Roy, when he started, you had to get that country out of him. But once he got into the flow and got comfortable, yeah. Then let's close it out with did we do NCAA basketball? We did NCAA basketball. We didn't do NCAA football. Anybody else on the football NCAA side that you can think of?
Ooh, football.
Football.
Herbie. Kirk Herbstreit.
Yes. Yep.
Todd Blackledge.
Yep.
Jesse Palmer.
Yep.
And even though he stepped out of bounds and cost him 2 points, Dan Orlovsky.
Okay. My college color guys, I give love to RG3. Charles Davis. You can put Charles Davis in my football category, my NFL category too. When I listen to Charles Davis, I know I'm gonna learn something every time, and that's part of the reason why I used to love the NFL draft on the NFL Network. Anybody else I can think of NCAA football as a colored guy? Oh, you're gonna kick yourself for missing this one. Because if you listen to the Jefferson Sports Network, you got to get a little Doc Walker.
Doc Walker, yep. Agreed.
Yeah.
One name we didn't mention in NBA, what I didn't mention in NBA, is another one that I learned X's and O's from, and him, Hubie Brown, John Thompson.
I already know you're going with.
Made listening to on the radio on Westwood One great, and that is Dr. Jack Ramsey.
Yep. I could have told you was going to say that one.
Oh, I know you know that.
Yeah. For sure. If you got anything else, when we post the video, just add it to the comment section on the video after we post the show. And don't forget, in 24 hours or less than 24 hours, and probably sometime between 9 and 10 a.m. tomorrow, you can get the audio version of the show and play it at your desk, wherever you get your podcast from, Spotify, Apple, any other podcast platforms. We are the Sideline Junkies. So make sure you check us out. We're not done yet because I think we got to wrap this shit up. B. So let's wrap it up. B.
Wrapping that shit up, B. I do have a quick hit. And I think and this crazy because I seen it right before the show. John Gruden, that is, and Tiki Barber are going into the Bucks Ring of Fame. I don't know. I can understand Tiki Barber because Tiki Barber, John Lynch, Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks, those guys were anchors and stalwarts with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were there when they weren't anything, and then when they started winning, they got there. They were still there, and they were part of the wins. John Gruden, though, outside of that run that he had that one season, what did he do?
He won him a
in
Super
Tampa
Bowl
Bay that puts him in the Ring of Fame.
Let me help you out. First letter is a S, third letter is a P, fifth letter is a R, second letter is a U, fourth letter is a E. Then there's a space, and then in the second word, the first letter is a B, fourth letter is a L, third letter is a W, and the second letter is a O. And I don't know if you caught all that and how I spelled it out, but it's called a Super Bowl. Super Bowls put you in rings of honor anytime. Don't matter if whose team, who's you use, but did you win the Super Bowl? Yes. Guess what? Ring of Fame. Ta-da!
Here's the thing. That team that won that Super Bowl. That team was how many pieces were different from the season before under Tony Dungy?
So that makes it even better because he did something Dungy couldn't do. He took them to the promised land. I keep telling you, sometimes coaches got to be Moses. They can't get to the promised land.
I can't argue with you. I can't. Okay, congratulations, John Gruden, Tiki Barber. I'm sorry, Rondé Barber. Congratulations.
Just say it, dog.
Because look, I'm sitting here ready to argue, ready to be hot and steam. What did he do? He took Tony Dungy's team and, well, damn, he took Tony Dungy's team. Damn.
That's like you dating a girl and trying to get her to marry you, and the next two come in, and in like 6 months they get married and they have a kid. Well, hey, you did all the groundwork you could and got her to a place where she was comfortable with love, but unfortunately, you weren't the destination. You was just a stop on the trip. I can't keep giving you all these gems. I can't give you all these gems, bruh.
Hey, look. Pen and hand. What you got?
Last night the Mystics played the Aces. The Mystics came back and won 100-99. Sonia Centron and Asia Wilson messed up the church's money. Centron was supposed to have 2 threes. And I think Asia was supposed to have 8 rebounds. But I'm not gonna hold no grudges. It was a great game. The Mystics came back and won 100-99. But what I learned and what I've watched is like this WNBA season's these playoffs gonna be interesting because Nafisa came back last night also for Minnesota. Now, Olivia didn't have her best day, but Nafisa gave you 24 and 10. And if she giving you 24 and 10, like, what we doing? Like, it's going to take them probably 2 or 3 games to get used to having Nafisa on the floor. But the Lynx could be a problem. I'm not talking about a regular problem. You know how I go, problem. So, yeah. And then last night also, I can't lie. CC came out and was a killer. Caitlin Clark came out and was trying to be the female stuff. I think she was 7 or 8 from 3 at one point. She was giving out threes like it was cotton candy, and he was at the carnival. She was giving out threes like they were king size Snickers, and it was Halloween. Like she was just, You want one? Thanks for knocking the door, baby. Fwaga. When you want another Snickers? Get this one from the bottom net, baby. Fwaga. I mean, it was just, hey. I'm just saying, it was better than the rainforest when she was shooting and hitting them nets. It was, whoo, I don't know. We had mudslides somewhere because it was just going. That Jay was killer last night. And I know one thing: if she plays like this, I'm telling you, these WNBA, get your popcorn, get your potato chips, get your lemon pepper wings. If you eat your lemon pepper wings in certain places, get your dollars too, because you're gonna need a bunch of dollars. Watch you eat your lemon pepper wings. But if you eat your lemon pepper wings at home, you don't need the dollars. All I'm gonna say, think smart, financial responsibility. But and we don't encourage you to go places where there's the Canadian ballet. But if you do go, understand lemon pepper wings and dollar bills. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, speaking of the WNBA, you know the All-Star Weekend festivities started tonight.
Yes.
They got the skills night is tomorrow night at 8 on ESPN. So that's the 3-point contest and the Kia WNBA skills challenge. I wish they did shooting stars with them because broaden it up a little bit more. The main event is the All-Star game, which is at the United Center Saturday night at 8:30.
Okay.
So we definitely, I might even partake in that on Saturday. I might partake in that. See what's up.
All right, man. That's all I got for you, bro.
Well,
117. We'll talk after the show.
Okay.
117. This is crazy.
Midnight Rider, I just want to thank you for letting me be along for the ride. Even though I was late, this is amazing. This is absolutely great. Be back on Sunday, do it again.
6 years in?
Yeah.
I think it's officially 6 because we may be closer to August where it actually becomes 6. I don't know what the first, like, me officially as a sidekick, not as the caller. I don't know what that date is.
Well, hell,
we'll check that out one day.
You kept alternating back and forth. But you know what? I have to go back and I have to really check that out. But yeah, it's official.
Yo, that's what's up, man. Also, before we go, if you haven't gotten a chance to go back to Monday night, Pretenders or Contenders and Drive Time's 2-in-1 show where we got to talk about the referees and the coaches and the summit beyond the Beyond the Whistle Summit. Check that out. That's got some quality stuff. I know we're going to go back down that lane at a certain point and talk about that again. So just be ready for the next edition of this. And yo, if you didn't see it, go back and watch it. It's on our YouTube channel. And let's make it happen.
Yes, indeed. So until next time, that's the Midnight Ride. I'm the big guy, KG. We did it in undertime, but we are out of here.
Yo.